Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sisters Sanditon. Today we shall be reviewing episode 7 of Masterpiece's hit series, Sanditon.
Yes, welcome to the regatta.
Yes.
Where the entire Beaumont has shown up.
Mm.
As you can see, we have a little boat here.
Yes.
It's not supposed to have a sail, but there.
There.
Perfect.
Yes.
And we shall all get a little rowing lesson today, ladies.
What a lesson.
Rowing, yes, we shall.
I might need to pull out my fan for this one.
Oh, my dear, you finally got yourself one.
Yes, it finally arrived.
It matches my outfit much better here.
does.
Take the gaudy one, my dear.
All right. I shall take
Oh, this is lovely.
Yes.
Perfect.
Isn't it? Thank you.
All right, well, we open with Charlotte paying her respects to Lady D, and all the main players have gathered there at Lady D's house, and Dr. Fuchs says that she may not last the night.
Yes.
Now, Sydney is absent at this point,
Yes.
right? And after they have this conversation, Tom and Mary are alone, and he tells her that if his principal investor, Lady D, dies, he will be ruined, bankruptcy.
Yes.
And I think this is a little foreshadowing to show us, like, this is serious, this bankruptcy stuff. If this were to happen to him, it means debtor's prison, it means his family starves, it means a lot. It doesn't just mean, oh, we file for bankruptcy and then we all move on.
Right.
Right. And so next we see Sydney visiting with Georgiana. And I like this scene.
Yes, he has become a lot more sentimental with her, more, I'm sorry, more fatherly.
He says he's fallen short as her guardian, right?
Yes.
But he says, believe I am sincere, I want to make amends.
Yes.
And she says, you think you can change. She just naysays it again. But can we just talk about him in this moment? Did you see the nose on the man? The nose! Now, I do not think of a nose as an attractive...
No. It's not the most attractive feature of the human
attribute
body.
of the human body.
No.
Most people do not like noses. I
No.
do not, for one. But that nose of his,
The Greeks have done it.
it's a perfect nose. A perfect specimen of nose if I ever
It
saw
is,
one.
and they have that big close-up on him when she
And
says,
the
you think you can
profile,
change? And he
gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
just-
And those pools, his eyes are like dark pools.
Yes, let's move on.
Yes.
Fan yourself, dear.
Yes.
Here.
Meanwhile, we see Charlotte, and she meets Stringer in the street.
Yes.
And
Because they haven't seen each other since she arrived
because
back
she's
from
been in
London.
right? And he says that maybe they'll have time for a more substantial conversation.
Yes.
And he likes the sound of that.
Poor
And so
Stringer's
does his
always
friend.
clutching at straws here.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll get to talk.
Yes, a substantial
see.
conversation, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Well, now Charlotte is on her way to meet Georgiana, and she
Check in
sees
with her.
Sydney in the hall. And
Yes.
what does he say to her?
He says, well, I might wait for you downstairs if you don't mind. Mind? I should say not! I'll tell you what I would do.
Georgiana!
Tell you what I would do. Georgiana, how are you? All right, thanks, bye. Sydney's waiting.
Yes.
But she's a good friend.
She is a good friend.
Yes.
And so we go back to Lady Denham's now, right?
Yes.
And I'm just going to make this quick because I don't care
There's
too
a
much
lot.
about this.
Again, there's
a
so
lot
much
here,
in this episode.
But I want to focus
Oh.
mainly on Charlotte and Sydney.
Well,
so we
we
go
always
back.
do.
Esther finds out about Clara and Edward, that they've had the thing, and, that they got rid of the will and all this.
Yes.
And she tells all this
She's
to Lady D. She
very upset.
on Lady D,
She is
who
heartbroken.
is semi-conscious
Yes.
at the moment.
Well, more unconscious than not, we think.
Well,
but
we don't know.
we
but
don't know.
We shall know later.
We shall know later.
All right, now, we're done with that. Good.
Yes.
Back to Sydney and Charlotte. Walking home. Oh, my goodness. She says he must be patient with Georgiana,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And she says, you know how she feels, right? Because you know the agony of separation.
And he says, yes, I suppose.
I expect you're right. You know how many times he says that? I mean,
I expect you're right to
Yes.
her. Yes, you are correct.
it's coming more and
He
more.
does say
You're
that
right.
all the time. There may be something in what you say.
Right.
Yes, you're
Yes,
right.
Miss Haywood,
You're
right.
right.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
does say
Yep.
that a lot. Oh
Yep.
my goodness, you're right.
Yes, and then he says, although fate has a strange way of surprising even the most jaded amongst us. Now, is he talking, my question here was, is he talking about Charlotte or Eliza? What do you think?
I don't think he knows right now. Number one, I think he's surprised to have seen Mrs. Campion show up like a ghost from the past 10 years. I think that is something that he's grappling with. Like, what does this mean for me? What am I going to do with this?
Yes.
And number two, he's surprised that he has
Right.
started to fall for Charlotte.
Right. I
which
think you could
clearly
take it either
he
way,
has.
or both ways.
Yes, I think both
Yes.
right now. He's confused.
And then they have this really cute little flirty moment,
Yes.
right, where she says, you're not nearly as unfeeling as you pretend. And he says, well, don't let that get out, right? I have a
Yes.
reputation to
Yes,
uphold.
I
and
have a
so
reputation.
they're still having this cute moment. So he's not totally just,
she
you know,
says,
we
"Your
last
secret-"
left them where he and her had that great dance, and then he was with the other woman.
Right.
But they're getting back into
He's
their little
still
flirty, and
yes.
he's still trying
He
to
still
decide,
cares for her.
obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So maybe not all is lost. All right, and then we're back at Trafalgar House,
Yes.
and we see that Eliza Campion has arrived.
And we're none too
apparently
pleased.
Sydney has asked her to stay for the regatta.
Sydney,
Now,
dear,
just
how
so
could
you
you?
all know, we harbor no ill will towards
No.
Ruth Kearney.
No, the
at all,
actress
do we?
who plays
Almost.
Eliza.
Yes.
We look. Not Sydney. Theo James
Yes.
has chosen her to be his bride. They are
That's
married.
right.
He loves her, so we
harbor
love
no
her.
ill will to
we
her.
have- well-
It's Eliza Campion that we don't
Yes.
like, right?
Yes,
In the
yes.
movie,
the character.
she is just
People can get these things confused. I mean,
Yes.
number one, let's be honest, we're all a little bit jealous of her.
Yes.
So the natural
Yes,
tendency is to be a little bit envious of her,
Yes.
and let's take it out on her. But
Yes.
it's not her fault. She's
Ruth
snagged the most handsome man in the
Kearney
world.
is the luckiest woman in the world, right? How can we dislike her?
Bravo!
Yes. Good for you, Ruth, I
Yes.
say. Oh, my goodness, it's getting hot in here. Well, anyway, we say, how could you, Sydney, when you see
Yes.
this? I mean, were you
Well,
just... I
listen.
was so upset.
Well, and like,
She's holding his arm, so chummy.
yes,
as if
very
She
possessive.
owns him,
Very
isn't
possessive.
she?
But listen, this is what I say. I say, she came down of her own accord.
Which I
He
hadn't
did
noticed
not
the
stay
first
in-
time. I thought he
Yes.
had brought her.
Well,
He didn't.
The assumption was sort of that he brought her because he's asked her to stay. So we thought, did he ask her here?
Right.
No, I don't think so.
No.
He went home with Tom and
Yes.
Georgiana and Charlotte.
She
He
comes
didn't
down.
stay in London to stay
Right.
with her, which he
Right.
could have done.
That's right.
He went home.
Yep.
She came down. I know she's probably heard about the regatta. Who knows if they had talked about
Yes.
it?
Yes.
And so she's come.
She's come and asked. And he
Of
asked
course
her to
he's
stay
gonna
out
say,
of
well, stay.
politeness.
Yes.
And he's probably wondering, what am I going to do here?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
All right, so Charlotte is sort of spying on them from the
Mhm.
hallway. She has no interest in being introduced
She
to
doesn't
her,
come out.
right? Which is good because she
Yeah.
doesn't get
No,
introduced.
which is a good
Um,
thing. She never does get
No,
introduced.
she
to
never
us.
does.
Never.
Does she? But Sydney is the only one who sees her, and he
Yes, he
looks
looks
at
at
her
her.
and looks down. Guilty as charged. Ooh, I was
It's
not happy
you
about
know,
that.
it's almost like he sees
Looks
her and then
away
he's
from
like,
her.
no, I'm here right now. I'm with her
I'm going
right
to
now.
pursue this
Yeah.
chick.
I know it.
I didn't care for that.
No,
Um,
but he's torn. He's
yes,
torn right now. He
yes.
doesn't know what to do. He's
confused.
wrestling. He's wrestling with his
yes,
feelings.
and in the next scene, in fact, we see one of his ocean swims, right?
Yes.
Where he's going to clear his head,
Which is
type
what
of
happened
thing.
before when
when
he
he
was
was
going to clear his head
confused.
about her.
Yes.
Yes, only
yes.
this time there's a little bit of a difference when when he comes out, he looks even more manly than ever.
Is that
Doesn't he look like he's been
stronger
doing
than ever?
multiple? Yes.
Yes, boxing a little more,
I don't
maybe
know, but
lifting
anyway.
some weights.
Yes. Anyway, we see he comes out of the ocean. He comes to his clothes, and they've all been just a big soppy mess.
Did any of you notice that?
Right
His
on the
clothes were
beach.
soaking wet.
Soaking wet. And to me, that means, number one, he was so distracted with his own thoughts that he didn't think to put them up
Yeah.
where he did
Just
before. Put
threw
them
them
up on the
down.
rocks.
He's
He
just-
threw them down. And I think it's perhaps, this is my imagination, but I also think it's an analogy. You remember how Babington told Esther, I'm all at sea.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm all at
Yes.
sea. For me, it's almost like Sydney's all
Yes.
at sea, literally.
Yes, drowning.
I mean, he's
type
still,
of-
he
yeah.
just doesn't,
Mhm.
he's so confused. He
Yep.
just doesn't.
You're right.
Yeah.
But when Eliza and Charlotte come face to face on the beach, right,
Yes.
at the next scene.
Yes, the
it's-
next
it's
scene,
the regatta now,
Sydney is
correct?
walking her down
Sydney's
to the regatta.
walking her down, and Charlotte's down there playing with the children.
Mhm.
And my point here, for sure, is Eliza is already jealous of
Yes.
her, right? She doesn't
Yes.
come into this just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you.
Who are you? No.
She has got it out for Charlotte already because she saw them at that dance.
Yes.
And who could not have noticed that? She saw
Yes.
them with each other.
Oh, I'm
Charlotte's
sure.
attractive,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Young.
young.
Younger than her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very good shape on her.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Well, anyway, so Sydney does not introduce
Yes.
them again, as we said before.
No. To me,
And
it's so
he
odd.
looks so guilty this whole time. Does he
Mhm.
not?
Mhm.
He keeps looking at
Well,
her,
it's
and
sort
looking
of
at her,
like
and he's guilty.
you have
he
one
can't make up
girl
his
on your
mind.
arm and you don't want to introduce
Yeah.
her to your other girlfriend.
Right.
And it's sort of like,
Right.
hey,
It's
hi.
like when you're out with your girlfriend and then you run into your ex type
Yeah.
of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And while Charlotte and the kids are building sandcastles, which of course works in Eliza's favor, because
Uh-huh.
Charlotte looks like a little kid here,
Uh-huh.
sitting on the floor, right?
Well,
And Eliza makes the little...
she's so condescending. Oh, well, yes, well done, children. She lumps her in right with the little ones.
Yeah.
Well done, children.
Mhm.
You know, and she asks Sydney, like, who did you say that girl
Right.
was? You know,
Right.
like she kind of who
Yes.
is she?
Yeah, they look back and she said, oh, what a... And then she says, a sweet
Yes.
little thing.
Yes, what a sweet little thing.
Gag me. I
And
mean,
Sydney's just kind of like,
so condescending. Yeah, and he doesn't really know what to think. You know,
Mhm.
once again, like, she's tearing down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She's tearing down the girl I kind
right,
of like.
which is
but-
not a good look.
No.
Let's be honest. No man
No.
likes to see another woman that insecure that he's
Right.
tearing down another woman.
Right. You're right. So, all right, let's go back to Lady D, right?
Mhm,
She has miraculously recovered her senses and is sitting up talking.
Perhaps all that you know what I think it was? She was unconscious so long that she could not ingest the seawater, and she recovered from it.
Yes.
As we said, the seawater was
I
probably
think
making
you're
her
right.
sick.
I think you're right, yes. And she says that if anyone deserves any credits, it's the arse milk,
Yes.
right? It's the arses.
Yes, they said the doctor.
The milk restores my strength.
Yes. Give me some of the milk. Yes,
Yes.
she's so bad. even as she rises, from her deathbed here, she's just making jokes the whole entire scene.
What's the funny quote she says about?
She says about, I found dying highly disagreeable, and I've no intention of repeating the experience.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, she's so funny.
Hilarious.
She's
we
so
need her.
funny.
We need her not to die because she's too funny.
Yes. She says she's risen from the ashes.
Yes.
Ashes.
And apparently, she has heard quite a lot while in the throes of death.
She heard it all.
While unconscious.
Mm-hmm. The secret
so she heard
is out.
everything she knows.
Yes.
And then she says she's going to have her drawing room floor remade. Right.
Because it has been stained beyond
indelibly.
Indelibly stained.
Yes. Yes. So, meanwhile, we see Arthur and Diana. They are now headed to the regatta. They're walking down the street, and they see that someone has
before
arrived.
they see her, they make a little joke. Remember, they're sort of a little comic relief too.
Yes.
And she says, "But you cannot join the rowing team." He goes, "I'm the brothers Parker. I have to join." "But you know how you are with seasickness." And he goes, "It is the river." She says, "Well, it's an aversion to anything that floats." I mean, they're so funny.
He's going to get seasick on the river.
Yes,
right?
yes. They're so ridiculous.
Well, they end up seeing Lady Susan.
Yes.
And they race down.
They recognize her immediately.
Yes. They race to tell Tom. She's here.
Lady
You're never going to
Worcester.
believe it.
Yes.
So
because and I don't know if we really knew before. We didn't know that she was anyone.
Such a big
as anyone. She was just a lady at the ball. But now we find out they recognized her face, and she's
And so she ends up saying that she's there for Charlotte, right, which is great. And so her and Charlotte go off, and they have a little talk, and she asks,
discussion.
Does
Does a
Sydney
certain
know
person know that you're in love with
him? And Charlotte's like, no,
I think
that's kind of over for me.
Yes, and I think Charlotte at this point, when she sees them together and she sees them on, and she was looking at them like with this kind of defeated smile the whole time. I think she's like, she thinks it's done.
That was so sad.
He's already spoken for.
But Lady Susan says, "Oh, don't worry, she'll have a chink in her armor. We just need to find it."
Yes.
And at this point, Charlotte just wants to get out of there because Campion has arrived. And she's going to talk
coming
to
up.
So she leaves, and Stringer
runs
comes
off.
up and says, "Perhaps we could have our little
Have
talk."
our discussion now. She goes, "Oh, perfect timing. Get me out of here." Yes.
So they go off. They're going to have their walk, and then it cuts to showing Tom and the brothers walking to the river, right? And Tom is telling Sydney that he seems to be a different man.
Yes.
No doubting the cause, right?
Yeah, well, I
Mrs.
say
C.
it's since the dance with Charlotte.
That's what I say. And even Sydney says, "Now steady on, Tom." Right?
Yeah, no need to rush things. Well, it's only been 10
know
years.
What he wants to do.
Well,
Right?
I mean, come on, it is silly when you think about it, which is what Tom says.
What's the doubt in your mind?
Tom says, "Look, she's rich, she's beautiful, she's witty."
Right, and
You've
we're
been
all screaming, "Charlotte!"
You've been pining for her for 10 years? Yeah, why should there be any doubt in your mind, like you said?
And Sydney says it's a strange feeling, right? After something you wanted for so long to finally have it in your grasp. I mean, he's really torn.
Yes.
In this whole episode, he is torn. He doesn't know what
really,
to do.
the whole
little Arthur speaks up here with a little bit of wisdom here, doesn't he? And says, "I wouldn't trust her again."
Yes.
So I thought that was
He's like, "All I've known is that you've been, pining with a broken heart, and I wouldn't be so quick to trust her again."
And then cute little Arthur runs off and rescues Georgiana, right?
Rescues her
brings
from
her.
Mr.
So
Hankins.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
And she says,
He's
"I
got a
don't
good
want to be here.
People
are staring.
Oh, yes.
You've endured
people
worse."
People are all staring at me. He's like, "Well, they've always been staring at you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You've been through worse. You'll be fine."
I like
so
him
sweet.
together. I think he's a great friend for her. Well, so now we go back to Charlotte and Stringer, who are having their little tete-a-tete along the river. And once again.
Yeah.
He
they just
thinks,
get the wires
he has no idea. Still, see, at this point, he still doesn't know that he doesn't have a shot.
He still thinks he has a chance.
Right.
Yes.
And so he's thinking,
so what's wrong? Tell me. Confide in me.
Yeah,
what's troubling
and she's
you?
saying, I formed a misguided attachment.
Yes.
And doesn't he say something? Well, who knows?
Maybe he shares your feelings five times over.
No, he doesn't.
No, I can't deny what I see with my own eyes.
And then
he's
he
like,
realizes, wait a second, she's not talking about me.
Poor guy.
So I thought
and she's completely clueless too. That
she's
because
clueless.
she's so involved in her own thoughts about
Sydney. She has
Sydney
no idea that he has feelings for her.
No.
So he realizes now she only has eyes for Sydney, and which ticks him off, which we're going to see a little later.
Is this where she says, "You're right, Mr. Stringer, you are a sympathetic listener"?
Yeah. Just
poor guy. He's just like,
just what he wanted to hear. All right, so Sydney arrives at the river, right? And
so Charlotte was sent. She told Stringer that she was going to go to set up, kind of for the beginning of the race.
Yes.
She's there to kind of
tell everybody, get
up.
ready. You have 1 hour, right? And Sydney comes and she says, I'm just
letting
all
all
the
the other
competitors know,
yes.
Now she thinks he's with Eliza, right?
Kind of back to formal.
He takes off his jacket,
takes off his hat.
holds his arms out in this pose.
In a very, open pose.
Yes.
When you have your hand
bare,
wide
bare
open.
yourself kind of. Do you think I'm ready? Do I look ready to
Yeah.
you? And of course, we all know this has a double meaning, right? Am I ready for you.
For a relationship.
For a relationship with you. Am I ready for all of this?
Yes.
Am I ready to be the man you need me to be, is the way I saw
right.
it. And she says, I'm no expert, And he says, well, neither am I. I haven't picked up an oar in years.
Yeah.
Once again.
10 years, perhaps?
Yes. I'm sure it will all come back to you. All of these metaphors,
Like
right?
how to be in a relationship. Yes.
And
so many.
he says, I don't
double
know.
Meanings.
Yeah, double meanings. A man, then he goes to the boat, right, and says, a man cannot step in the same river twice.
Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
Of course, she finishes the quote. It is just like magic. They're so connected.
And isn't that how it is when you meet like the love of, like when my husband and I met, we were like finishing each other's sentences, that type of thing, like same type of
same
humor,
wavelength.
same joke, same wavelength, same. That's just how they
and
are.
she finishes.
Which I love.
Yes, she finishes the quote. For he is not the
Yes.
same man, and it is not the same river. It's Heraclitus.
And he smiles like,
of course you know.
I knew you would know.
Yeah, and he says, of course you know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so
we
it's so
realize
cute
how much
because
they have in common.
Yes, they're both reading her. They're both sort of nerds in one sense.
Yes.
Reading Heraclitus.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
not,
intellectuals, which I love.
Yes.
And so then on to the rowing lesson, right? And he says, I need a second person to balance the boat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
We'll go with that one.
Who was he expecting to balance the boat when he got to the river if Charlotte hadn't been there?
She hesitates again because she doesn't want to seem like she's throwing herself at him or trying to, well, you're with her now.
And don't forget, Otis and Georgiana weren't allowed to go in the rowboat together.
That's
she had to be
right.
chaperoned, but now she's allowed to do it with Sydney.
Well, hey, wouldn't you?
Well,
yeah.
All
Who wants a chaperone?
All the rules have gone out the window.
That's right. They have indeed. Well, so she's hesitant, but he comes on and she kind of jumps on and he kind of has to grab
do you think
her.
she does that on purpose?
Steady her. Well, I would have. I
hurt my ankle. You
smart
need to
girl,
hold on to
I
me.
say. Very smart. And so he's going to get into good practice, right? And
yes.
I don't know about that good of a practice, but
we'll see what happens.
Yes. So he gets in the boat and he says, why, when I finally have a chance at happiness, can I not accept the fact?
Even before he says that, he says, may I ask you something? Again, right? He's always asking her opinion. He's always going to her. Everyone seems to go to her to ask her opinion.
And once again here, he could be
and
talking
he cares about it. Yes. What is he talking about when he
Charlotte,
says it's within my grasp, but I can't accept it? To me, I think it's about him figuring out what do I want, because who am I? He needs to figure out who he is first. You know how he told her at the ball, perhaps I'm an outlier. I don't belong anywhere. I don't belong in London. I don't, he's trying to figure out who he is. And, Charlotte is not that London, fine London lady. And he enjoys being with her and he enjoys
later he
playing.
says that he's changed because of her.
Right.
If I've changed it because of you.
And she's made him a better man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of things. I think he's grappling with who am I? And then if I find out who I am, then I can find out what I want. Yeah. So he doesn't know what to do. Like, like Tom said, well, it's here. Why would you hesitate? He just, do I want that now?
Right.
And she says, what can't you...
And he says that he convinced himself that he was going to remain alone, right? That I was ill-suited for matrimony.
Right. And she says, I don't believe anyone is truly ill-suited for matrimony.
Question of compatibility, and that's a big thing for him to think about, right?
And
am I really compatible now with this woman?
Right, with who he is now and who he wants to be.
And
the man who he wants to be.
Again, right? So he rows the boat for a minute.
Yeah. What is? I think I timed it. I think it was about 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes.
Well, that was a good enough practice.
What a workout!
Yes. And he tells her that it's her turn.
Yes.
Oh boy, here we go. I wish he'd given me a rowing lesson.
Oh boy, I'd balance his boat any day.
Oh my goodness! Can we just say how much we love this scene?
Oh yes. I mean, it was steamy. It was steamy.
Well, first, she's kind of confused because she thinks he's spoken for.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. She already thinks, it's kind of like if you knew someone was dating someone and that person asked you out.
But he's trying to make the moves on you and you really like him, but he's dating somebody else, right?
Yes, exactly.
And he puts his hand on her side. He tells her to...
That was so racy. I was, oh boy.
Straighten her back, slides it down the leg.
I'm telling you right now, that river has
never
been
that
so
big,
hot.
gorgeous smile.
I think it became a hot springs at that moment. Probably bubbling up. I don't think it's ever been that hot.
Oh dear, I'm going to get a lot of use out of my fan on this episode.
Yes.
Well, he smiles, she smiles,
and
they don't need to say too much.
They don't, and they don't. They don't say too much.
And Andrew Davies likened this to lovemaking. Now, I didn't see that when I first watched it. I didn't go there, but that's what he says. I don't know.
We're thinking Jane Austen.
It's passionate. Whatever you want to take it for is fine. I just took it as a lovely, romantic, passionate moment.
A moment, where they want...
chemistry, sexual tension, it was all there.
Yes. And I think right before it was interrupted, it looked to me like they were just like this, like he was about to
it reminded me of Little Mermaid, Kiss the Girl,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You see her sitting there across the way. She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. She don't say a word, and she won't say a word until you kiss the girl. Oh yeah, I mean it had all the moments of the Little Mermaid right there, and you just wanted them to lead in, and then of course Campion should come. Sydney, she saw that. You saw it on her face. She saw that moment, and she's like, "I'm gonna break this up real quick."
And I think what she saw, number 2, she saw the dance, which looked like they were about to kiss, and she saw this.
And in this moment, it's time to make her move.
This is when she knew,
and
I've got to make a move.
At the end,
at the very next opportunity she has to be alone with him.
Yes. Well,
she tries to make a move
later. We now see Lady Susan hanging out with Charlotte, right?
Yes.
Charlotte's gotten off the boat, and her and Lady Susan are hanging out, and Susan sees Mrs. Campion coming this way, and she realizes right then, you're the chink in her armor. Mm-hmm. She's jealous of you. Mm-hmm. She's coming around. She doesn't want you with him. You know what I mean?
Our way.
And so I thought that was really good, right? And she says, "Oh, what are you talking about?" She says, "We're talking about marriage."
And Charlotte goes.
And Charlotte's like, "Oh my gosh, you know."
What do you think about it, Mr. Parker?
Yeah, and he says he has he cannot speak of it with any authority.
Yes.
Nice out.
Yeah.
And so Charlotte is so sensible, right? She says there's little point considering marriage until you found someone you want to marry.
Yes.
Once again, just so
she's wise beyond her years.
She's way above these,
and
champions, so far above her.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if he can see yet, but he will. And
Campion says, "Oh, I just assumed there'd be some boy in your village who's caught your eye." Well, why should she be limited to her village?
Right.
Lady Susan keeps
she
trying to stick up for her.
Right. And Sydney is not too pleased. It doesn't look like.
You can see him kind of going
the way that Campion's speaking to her. Right? And then she says, "Oh, it helps to find a common background. Yes. Wouldn't you agree, Sydney?" And he just tries to be kind of sweet and neutral. And I don't think he was trying to take a dig at Charlotte here. Some people say he was.
They weren't sure. Look, this is a lot of people do agree with us that I think he was trying to be sweet and sort of
have their moment, like Charlotte would rather be reading.
Joke.
I mean,
an inside joke almost. You hit the nail on the head. He called her Charlotte.
Yes.
That shows an intimacy.
Did you know that he took that upon himself?
Yes.
DOJ?
In the script, it said to say she.
How romantic is that?
And he said, "Why don't I say Charlotte?" And they said, "Yes, go with that."
You
sly dog, you.
Yes. You. Oh.
Yes, but yes, he took it upon himself to call her Charlotte, and I think it shows the intimacy in their relationship. I don't know if Campion
caught on to that. And I think he was doing that for her, like Charlotte. I don't think he was doing it to show other people.
No, I think he did it for her, like we said, inside joke. And he was trying to defend her.
But Mrs. C turns it into a joke, and everybody laughs, and Charlotte is so hurt. And you're quite right. I'm a farmer's daughter who reads books. What can I possibly have in common with anyone here? And she runs off in tears.
And before she runs off, she looks at him.
Yeah.
Like, how could you have betrayed me like this? Or let me be ridiculed by this
So, VR. I mean, think about what happened next. Like, Lady Susan has her look, like, you witch,
Yes,
but
great
he
look.
heads off, right?
He
to
leaves
go after
immediately.
Her. He left her. They don't show that, but we know that he left her.
He runs
after her.
Stringer
sees all this, right?
And poor
Stringer is just watching how...
Well, and he's seen her shout at her in the street before.
Yep.
And he sees this altercation. She's in tears, and he comes after her. What's going on?
So Sydney goes after her, and she's like, "Well, and he."
Well, she tries to leave first.
Right.
She's like, "Excuse me."
And he grabs her. Wait.
I'll wait for you.
Yes. And so he's trying to comfort her, to apologize, and she
says,
"What do you want?" Right?
Yes.
And did you notice his mouth? He said, if you watch it, about 15 times,
or 16
you'll notice that
million.
he says,
"Yes,
I want." He says, "I want."
Yes.
And I think he wants to say, "I want you."
Well, and I think I don't know if he quite knows yet. He probably he's gotten a lot more. I think that little conversation
forces him maybe to think a little bit more like, what do I want?
Yeah,
right?
And sees that Campion
is that all I am to you?
Is
a source of amusement, right? And that's showing him again, like, wait, what is she to me? No, you're not just that.
No, and he tried. I think he wanted to say like you're much more.
And then he says, "Forgive me." I mean, it is just
forgive me. He doesn't know what to say.
It's horrible, right?
Well, and I think
then she's great. She just lays it out there. Well, you've done me a great service. I now know exactly how you feel about me.
I'm no longer in any doubt as to how you regard me.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's just like, well, and I think he
better make up your mind quick, boy.
Yes. But I think he does, like, let's give him a little bit of credit here because he is confused, and he is trying to comfort her.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he comes. He wants to comfort her, but he doesn't know what to say to comfort her. Like, what she needs right now is, tell me that I'm more to you than just a joke.
Or is he ready to admit it to himself, And she just finally says,
ready.
Just be kind enough to leave me alone.
Just leave me alone.
Which is she's such a strong woman. I mean, she's so great. You know what I mean? You know how some of us are just like, I'll just be in your presence. I'll take the crumbs from the table.
Some
some of us. But she's just like, if you don't want to be with me, then just leave me alone.
Yeah, right.
You know, because I can't take this.
Because it's like she said, like, well, what do you want from me? And he doesn't say it. Well, then just leave me alone. If you can't say it, just leave me alone.
Strainer's not happy. He sees it all, and he makes a comment to Fred in the next scene that he doesn't want to lose to Sydney twice on the same day. And he is ticked at this point.
Because he knows
he's
lost
Charlotte
to her.
And he's ticked that he's treating her bad.
Yes.
You know? And so we go on to the race, right? And the brothers Parker are commenting about strategy here.
Yeah.
And Sydney's like...
Sydney comes over, and they're like, well, what do you think? How the
hell should I know? Well, we said it was PG-13.
Yes.
Right?
You know, but
Ooh,
you know why he's so mad?
Right.
Because of this whole thing with Charlotte. He's alienated her. He's made her cry. You know, well, he didn't make her cry, but
and did you see Tom and Arthur were a little taken aback by that? Like, what set him off?
Yes.
Well, we know what set him off. And Charlotte wishes good luck to Strainer.
But not to Sydney. If you'll notice the difference between the regatta and the cricket match.
I think at this point she's like, I'm done. I mean, I'm done with this. Go off with your girl.
Well, she's been on his arm all day. You know, Campion's been on his arm all day.
And so then we have the race. That's kind of hilarious with Crow, who's drunk, steers on the wrong way.
I'm completely in control.
Yes. And then Mrs. Campion says to Charlotte on the sidelines, what does she say? Something about...
I do hope Sydney wins. I never saw the point of entering a race unless you're going to win it. Which is, I think, of course, a double meaning.
In other words,
she wants to win him.
Of course. And I got this one won.
It really,
I wouldn't enter this unless I knew I was going to win it,
Again, it reminds me of The Bachelor.
Yep.
Oh, you know.
Yep.
That's how those women are. Like, I want to win. I want to win.
Right. That's right.
She's that woman.
And Strainer starts to pull ahead, and he wins the race. He gets his trophy, shakes Sydney's hand, and says, "Not the prize I was after." Boy, do I love that. And Sydney looks...
He looked a little
He looked a little clueless there. Like, what was that?
I think he is.
What's he talking about? Well, you should know he's got a little competition. And the day is ending, right? And Lady Susan says her goodbyes, and she says she has a particular friend she'd like to bring next time, which would be very good for Sanditon.
We all know Mary says it later. There's the Prince Regent,
right? Which
who
would be
incidentally is also Babington's friend. So why can't he get him there? Come on, the two of them should be able to drag him there. And bring business to Sanditon.
Right. And she tells Charlotte, "Don't lose heart," right? Because Charlotte is resigned at this point.
Yes, and she tells her, yes,
love is never a foregone conclusion, right? And we all agree with that. Sanditon season 2!
Yay!
Yes.
Well, and there's so many little bits and pieces, like we said, that could be used in season 2. Like the Prince Regent could come to Sanditon and save them all.
That's right.
I mean, there could be any number of things. There are little bits that they can use in the next season.
Right.
They were not just thrown out for nothing.
So, next they show it's kind of now the regatta is done, and Sydney is there going who knows what.
Yeah, I don't know why he's the last one at the river.
Why he's the last one.
No one else is there.
It worked for the plot, and of course, Campion is there waiting for just like a spider, ready to pounce, and so he says, "Oh, you didn't have to wait." And she has a little thing about, I've waited
for 10 years.
You've waited. You're the one that left.
Yes. Why does she come off? She's the one that threw him over. Sorry, I almost spit you. Getting a little bit.
Watch it, Dan.
I'm getting a little bit excited about this.
Social distancing, Dan. Remember, 6 feet. 6 inches.
6 inches.
We're breaking all the rules here, Dan.
Oh dear.
But anyway.
Well, anything for Sanditon.
Yes.
But listen, now, she is the one who threw him over for an older, wealthy man, and she has the goal to say, I've been waiting for you for 10 years.
Right. And then she knows to make her move right here. He starts to stop her, but she doesn't really let him, and she's like, I mean, it's a little presumptuous that she just assumes he feels the same after 10 years. I knew we'd be together, and here we are.
Once I've gotten you in my sight, I can't bear to let you out again, and I knew fate has gifted us a second chance. Fate? Well, if you had let...
it's all her fault.
It's all her fault.
All her fault. And earlier in the episode, Esther has already given Edward the old heave-ho. We didn't really go there because we didn't want to spend too much time on them, right? And she told him she loved him. In fact, I loved you. And
past tense.
Goodbye, basically. Yes. Good riddance. And so Babbers comes to see Esther, right? And after he heard the way that Edward talked about her, he's realized kind of what their relationship was, I think, a little bit. That she's kind of been a prisoner. He's manipulated her.
He's very smart for a man.
Insight.
He's not just like a typical, I mean, he's really just like, he knows exactly what's going on. He tells her, you're not going to be a prisoner anymore. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know what's going on. And I'm not going to allow him to do this to you. For me, I mean, this just shows such true love here, because he says, as your friend, not even just I'm trying to get something out of you or get you to be my wife or my girlfriend. It's just, as a friend, I'm going to help you here, and you're not going to let him do this to you. In the spirit of friendship, I make you a promise. Yes,
so sweet.
I'm not going to. He's not going to make a victim out of you.
True
love. It's so sweet. Okay, and she takes it, and I think she realizes this man really does. This is a good guy.
Yes. Well, we'll get to see more of that. But all right, last scene. Charlotte is alone in the study.
Day's end. She thinks all is lost. She's already told Lady, Susan, it's over, you know.
She thinks at this point that Sydney's gone because she's back at the house and he hasn't come back. She thinks he's left with Campion. And he comes in, oh, I thought you'd already have left. And he says he decided against joining her. And we all clutch our seats and we lean in a little closer, don't we, dear?
Yes, yes.
And upon reflection, I think I'd rather be here.
We wanted him to say, with you.
Yeah. And then he goes into his little
But I think
speech.
it was implied.
I wish you could say it for us now, my dear, in that voice of yours, but you can't.
Yes.
But anyway, give it to us, my dear.
Oh, let me see. Where's the quote? I don't have it
Upon
memorized.
reflection.
Upon reflection, I realized I would rather be here.
Yes.
I know that I'm a great deal less than perfect. You've made me all too aware of that. But for whatever it's worth, I find that I am my best self, my truest self, when I'm with you. That is all. I want to cry. I mean, it's so sweet. I'm literally about to cry.
Yes.
It was so sweet.
It was so wonderful.
And I think this
and
is
then,
the culmination.
and then the way the little that is all was
Yes.
so cute. How
he puts his
you
hands
know,
behind his back.
You know what I mean? He's awkward, he's embarrassed, he's covered up. And that is all.
He doesn't know what else to say at this point.
What is
That's all
it?
he can say.
This reminds me of Meet Me in St. Louis when the man comes in and professes his love to the girl and says, I love you! That's all. Or, kind of like that. I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, profess the love and then let me get out of here.
Well, and I think this is a culmination of the day and a culmination of, since he saw Campion, he's been wondering, when he said, who am I? What am I going to do with myself? I don't know what to choose. I don't know why can't I take this? It's been offered to me. I thought I loved her for the last 10 years. This is a culmination. He's figured out his best and truest self is with her.
Yeah.
It's there in Sanditon, playing in the river with the children, walking along the beach,
Being
just
kind
having
to
family
his
time,
ward,
being
helping
kind,
his brother.
being a responsible man. He's being the man. He wants to be that man that she can be proud of, I think. And he realizes, my best self is with you. That's where I belong.
Yes.
But he's not, he's not going to say anything else now because I think
it's just
he's
so
just
cute
realized
how
it. I think
he's still awkward.
today.
It's hard for him to express himself, right? I just think it was that is all. Right. But that is not all, right?
No, that is not all.
As we shall see next week.
The kiss.
122 seconds, my dear, of pure, unadulterated bliss. 22 seconds, ladies and gents.
Yes. We shall watch it with you.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't wait.
It shall be an episode
I can't wait.
to
Now,
be remembered.
don't forget to subscribe,
Yes.
to comment, to like, to tweet, the whole lot. Do it all. We would love to see you back next week.
Yep.
For our next episode.
We'll see you all then.
Bye.
How are we going to do this?
What,
I stay
social
here.
distancing?
Yeah,
6
6 feet
feet.
apart. Come on. Scoot over there.
Can we still be
Is that
in
about
frame?
6 feet?
Well, it's more like
This is
4.
this is going to be quite difficult. Listen, I hope you people appreciate that we are taking our lives in our own hands here.
I hope you used your sanitizer.
I did. I hope you sprayed yourself down before you came in.
Of course I did.
Where have you been in the last 2 weeks?
At home watching Sanditon. Where else?
Right answer, my dear. Look at him. He looks like he's growing off of my shoulder.
Mr. Parker on my shoulder. I mean, you could have worse things rolling out of your shoulder, dear.
True.
Could be a rotted pineapple.
I'll say the hope.
So, like,
subscribe,
comment. What am I? Subscribe, like, comment, follow, tweet.
Tweet,
all
what's
of
that?
that.
Bird
Tweet.
tweet?
It's a tweet.
What's a tweet?
Well, it's one of those things, you put it online and you say something and people listen to you and they watch and they comment and they can retweet.
I need to get with the times here. I don't know. Tweet. All right, tweet.
Yes. Tweet.
Anything else?
Tweedledee, rockin' robin, tweet. No. I don't really know. I just joined.
Now, ladies, don't forget to go out there and buy yourselves a rowing machine. I hear they're flying off the shelves.
Yes, that was my line, dear.
Now, ladies, go out there and buy yourselves a rowing machine.
Yes.
It's the best form of exercise, I hear.
Yes, I had a flying off the shelves then.
Yes, I have to buy myself some stock in Nordic track.
Oh, dear. Is that what makes them?
I don't know.